What's up, everybody? Marvel Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today we are looking at Detective Comics issue number 32. This issue came out in October of 1939. And today, folks, we are continuing the storyline here where Batman is trying to save his fiancée. Her name is Julie. And so let's go ahead now and continue this story here as we look at these early issues of Batman here. And so we got to give credit where credit is due. This is brought to you by Bob Kane. He is the guy who drew Batman rather. He drew Batman back in the day. And so we see that following his fiancee, the Batman, in reality, Bruce Wayne has turned a sinister figure cowled like a monk into Hungaria. So he's following this guy. He's the monk, and he used to work for Dr. Death, and we don't know exactly if Dr. Death survived or not. And so we're seeing here that the monk is on the loose here. Batman thinks that the monk is holding Julie hostage here. And so what he's going to do is he's going to get on this carriage here. He's going to throw in this glass pellet of choking gas, and the fumes overcome the occupant in the cab. Well, what he's going to find out is that when he looks inside, he's like, who is this? And he gets into his bat plane. He said, I don't know who she is, but I have a feeling I'll find out soon. So strange for anyone to be traveling alone way out here, and yet the monk, I wonder. The Batman arrives at his hotel embedded deep in the Carlathon Mountains in Hungaria. And he says, she's coming too. I hope Julie is safe. And so it just so happens that Julie is back at the mansion. Don't give a reason why she's back at the mansion. I had thought that maybe she had been taken hostage, but in fact it was this woman right here, and her name is Darla. And so if you don't remember, actually, Julie was saved last issue thanks to Batman saving her out of that car wreck. Now my memory is just returning. So we see here that this Darla character is going to be very interesting here. Batman catches her sleepwalking, and there's blood on her lips. And then all of a sudden, Darla snaps out of her trance here, hits Batman with this statuette, and he falls to the ground dizzy, comes to Julie's room, finds two red spots on her neck, and it just so happens that Darla is a vampire. So Batman is going to confront Darla here, and he said, where is the monk? And Darla says, you shall talk now, Darla, you witch. I thought you accomplice of your evil master who calls himself the monk. So you are vampires. You want to know where the monk is? You fear him? Well, I do too. I'll tell you where you may find him if you promise to kill him. And so, is Batman going to go against everything he stands for and kill? We're going to find this out toward the end of the issue. Batman says, I'll be the judge of that. Where does the monk hide? So Darla is going to show where the monk is at. And we see here that Darla says, in the Lost Mountains of Cathala, by the turbulent river Des, I shall guide you. This money will safeguard you. You must fight against the power that calls you to this monk. He's telling this to Julie here. Julie's like, oh, I will fight, I will, but I am so afraid without you. And so Batman is going to go with Darla to find the monk. And will Batman actually kill the monk? That's what we're going to have to figure out here. Batman slices through this net, and Darla says, you fool, pitting your puny body against the mighty monk? And the monk says, my friend, the Batman, so you are still alive. Oh, Darla, welcome. So Batman is going to be held hostage by the monk here. It looks like Batman was leading into a trap this entire time by Darla. And then we see that Darla says, first you must bring Julie here, make the Batman suffer, knowing to what fate the girl is doomed. So the monk uses his concentration powers, and the monk forces his power through space. The monk's mind fastens on Julie's will, compelling her to come to him. And that's what she does. She comes to that castle where the monk is at. And we see here that Batman is going to have to watch as Julie is going to be transformed into the werewolf. She's been bitten by a vampire, and now she's going to be transforming into a werewolf here. And she runs with the pack, howling at the moon. And the monk says, "You shall be thrown into the arena below to die at their rending fangs. As you are screaming in death, remember that Julie will be a werewolf herself in time to run with the pack on moonlight nights." Batman is thrown into this dungeon here, and he can't use his bat cable or bat line to get a hold of that reel here. So now he is struck on the ground here, and he's going to have to figure out how to get out of the way here and not get bitten by these werewolves. So he throws this glass pellet from his belt, causes them to knock out for a few minutes, but he has to figure out a way to get out of this predicament before the werewolves return back to conscience here. And they regain conscience, as we see. So he grabs his batarang here, throws it at one of the wolves, and then he's like, "One strong cast will win me freedom." So the batarang slips past a stone post, and the rope holds, and Batman is able to get out of danger here. He notices that Julie has not transformed into a werewolf yet, so he takes this silver statuette, and then for some reason he's going to make this silver bullet with that statuette. So it looks like Batman is going to actually use a gun and kill the monk. That's just crazy stuff, but that's what he does. He kills the monk here, and that's one of the few times that we're going to see where the Batman actually uses a gun to kill. Batman usually does not kill anybody, but in this issue, as we see at the end, he did kill. And so that is how we end issue number 32. He came to the aid of Julie. Julie still doesn't know that Batman is her fiance, Bruce Wayne. And so, as we see, we end this issue. We got more intriguing Batman stories to look up and look at. Coming up next, as we look at Detective Comics issue number 33. Coming up next, go ahead now and get this video a like. Comment down below what you liked about this issue. Subscribe if you have not, and click that box right in this general area here so you can watch all of the detective comic videos that I have made, so you can catch up on any of the videos that you have missed out. And I will see y'all in the next one.